Bonjour à tous, bienvenue sur WHONIVERSE.fr. Nous sommes aujourd'hui à la 18e édition de la Paris Manga et Sci-Fi Show. L'occasion pour nous de rencontrer Peter Davison, le cinquième Docteur, mais également de faire un tour sur le salon.
It is, yes.
Okay.
This, in fact, is my first convention in Europe.
Oh,
I've done many, obviously, in Britain and in the USA and Australia, but never one in Europe. No. Tomorrow morning, before I fly back in the afternoon, I might have a chance to get a brief look from the distance of the Eiffel Tower. It seems very full. I'm amazed. I was rather worried that there would be no one here to turn up to see me, but there have been a lot of Doctor Who fans here, so I'm very happy. I don't know if I have one single memory. It's just, you see, I was someone who grew up watching the show. So to suddenly be playing the Doctor was, to me, an extraordinary thing. So I just loved every moment of it. You know, it was a bit like playing in the street when you're a child. You know, when you imagine you're playing in something, but here I was actually doing it for real. I have many happy memories of running down corridors away from Daleks and Cybermen. Actually killing Cybermen and pushing a Dalek out of a window was one of my best memories. The last story I did, which was Caves of Androzani, which up until then it had been Earthshock, was my favourite, but I think Caves of Androzani, everything came together. You know, we had a really good writer, a really good cast, and a very good director. The only downside was I turned into Colin Baker at the end. I heard that, yes.
So you want to fight the good fight with us?
Yes, all right, yes, I'll do that.
Podcasting in France.
Yes, absolutely. Obviously, yes. I mean, what's great about the fact that since the series came back, people have gone back to the classic series. So younger people are discovering them, and of course they have their limitations of special effects. But I've noticed a far wider fan base suddenly coming through. So yeah, I'd love the series to be as wide as it can possibly be. Well, I don't have any positive opinion. I mean, not just one opinion. I mean, I grew up with an older doctor. William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton were my doctors, and so I was very used to an older doctor. Since the series came back, they've obviously gone for younger doctors. A lot of the younger people were a bit shocked when Peter Capaldi was announced as the Doctor. But to me, I loved it because I remember him as almost like a father figure. And a avuncular figure. So I'm very happy. And indeed my son, who is 12, who was very worried about Peter Capaldi taking over, the moment he started, after the first episode, he was a real big fan. So I think it's at any age, really. In a way, I started a trend for younger doctors way back then, which has been continued. But it just shows you, really, it doesn't matter. The age doesn't matter that much. Yes, I don't think you'll find a doctor, an actor who's played the Doctor, who has sat down and watched the episodes afterwards. It's not that you don't like it. It's just it's very hard. You've just left it. You've been so close to it, so closely involved. I don't think I, honestly, at the time, watched any of Collins, and I know David Tennant didn't really watch Matt Smith's. it's just you can't do it. I can't explain why. It takes you a bit of time to go by before you can actually enjoy it as a program. Yes, because my sons watch it, and I've always liked it. So yeah, I do watch it. Yes, I've not seen the very last episode of this most recent season. I saw the first part, but not the second part. So don't tell me anything about what happens. I think it's very good. I mean, I have to say, I find myself more now turning to my children and saying, "What's going on? Could you explain to me? I just don't quite get it." So I worry sometimes that it's so complex that maybe the people who are general fans might find it more difficult. I think if you're an absolute Doctor Who fan, it's fine. But I worry about the sort of wider audience a bit, because it can get very, very confusing and very complex, I think. Well, the real genesis of the project was a couple of short videos. There's a convention in the USA called Gallifrey, which is held in Los Angeles every February. And I was meant to attend one year, and I couldn't do it because I was in a show in London. So I made a short video, a fun video, about my not getting there and apologising, and it was quite funny. And then I did another one the next year for the same convention. So I was used to filming things just with my video camera at home. And I was asked at a convention about 2 years ago if I thought that I would be in the 50th anniversary special. And I said no. I didn't think we would be, but if we weren't, I was going to make my own. It was a joke, really. It was just a joke. I had a little idea that it would be fun to do a little skit, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, about me trying to get into the 50th anniversary special. And then I thought, well, why not get Colin and Sylvester involved? So I asked them. And at that time, it was still me with my video camera. And we had to send the script to the BBC because I wanted to film on the set. And Stephen Moffat, who I know, I'd already agreed to do a little scene for me. And I sent them the script, and they called me down there and said they really liked it, and could they give me a cameraman and a sound man to help me film it. So I said, absolutely, yeah. And so we just kept adding bits. So I would wake up in the morning and think, I could do a scene about this, and so we would just write it. And it was it worked very. Then I got my daughter in to be my producer because it was getting too much, really. So it was, and it all just fell into place. And no one was paid any money to do it. Everyone just did it. Everyone we asked, except for Tom Baker, said yes. Even Peter Jackson, Ian McKellen, and so it was great. It was really good. Well, they agreed to take part in it. Colin and Sylvester said yes, and Paul McGann, but I sensed that they didn't really know what it was. And so they would say to me, well, I'm not free on this day, I'm not free on this day, I can give you an hour here. And then as they did a bit, they realised, I think, that it was actually quite fun to do. And so then they would give me more time. They'd say, yes, no, I'll come along, absolutely. And Colin said, come up to my house and film. So everyone became very accommodating, and they gave up their time and moved their schedules around so they could film for us. So it was I couldn't have done it without them. Of course we were. Come on.
Yeah, so we will never really know that.
No, you don't know. Oh, a Doctor Who episode. Well, I've thought, I thought I might sit down and try and write one, not with any hope of it being done, but just to see if I can do it, because I've never tried to do it. It would be fun to try, as an experiment. It might turn out a bit too funny, though. I don't know. I tend to, as I write things, I tend to, whatever they are, I lean towards making it quite funny. So whether that's apt, I don't know.
Maybe a special.
Maybe a special. Can the fans take a funny Doctor Who episode? Maybe they can. Yeah. We could do, couldn't we? We do a whole family show. Yeah. Yes, we've talked. Actually, funnily enough, we have talked about it. We said we should go somewhere. You can pick a place in the world. I said, let's go to Australia and New Zealand and a big family holiday, and then we'll just do a convention as well and invite all the fans along. I don't know. Yeah. David doesn't tend to do very many conventions. He's very busy. He will do it at some point, I'm sure. And I'd like to tag along. I'll just follow along behind him, you know. So yeah, I have thought about it. But then my son now wants to be Doctor Who as well. So you know, I could wait and we could do 4 of us together. Yes, there is. There is, and it's one of those typically. I was talking about it yesterday. Acting things where you can see someone and have a great time with them, and then they go off, and you maybe don't see them for a year, and then you bump into them at the next convention or the next show you're doing, and it's like you just pick up where you left off. So yeah, it is like a family. I mean, I know most people who've been involved in Doctor Who now, so there is a kind of instant connection, which is very nice. And Freema is a good example of that. Yeah. I would be terribly tempted to go back into the past and tinker with history. You know, I've always thought, wouldn't it be great if you could just turn up at some pivotal point in you know, advise Abraham Lincoln not to go to the theatre that night. What would the effect on the world be? I mean, you couldn't do it, I suppose. It's like Star Trek. You know, you mustn't interfere, but it would be fun to do that.
Merci à tous d'avoir regardé cette vidéo. On vous laisse tout de suite avec une dédicace d'Elena Casagrande, la dessinatrice actuelle du comics sur le 10e Docteur. Et on vous donne rendez-vous très bientôt à l'occasion de la venue de Paul McGann à la Paris Comics Expo. Salut!